Hey guys, I'm Hyunwoo.
And I'm Cassie.
We just finished a live Q&A session and we answered a bunch of really good questions that you guys asked us. So thank you for joining the live Q&A, which is every week.
Every week on Thursday.
Yeah, and this video is specifically about college life.
College life.
Yeah, and more specifically about not attending school during your college years.
Yes.
And as you probably saw from the thumbnail and the title of the video, I was a university student officially for 10 years.
10 years.
So, and that's because I entered in 1999. In the 20th century, last century. And I actually graduated in 2008.
2008?
So
Wow.
would you say that this kind of prolonged university life is common in the States?
It depends, I think. It depends on what degree you're going for.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I was just a normal, I guess, student who was doing it the normal way, like a very common way. So in Korea, it's very common, and you wouldn't see somebody who's taking, I guess, business management or psychology as their major actually taking 10 years to graduate in the States.
Yeah, not usually.
And so we're going to try to explain the concept of 휴학.
휴학.
휴학. As a worker at a company, what do you call your vacation?
휴가.
휴가. Okay, that's your vacation off your work.
Right.
And then when you are referring to a school break or school vacation, that's 방학. So 휴학 is neither 방학 nor 휴가.
Right.
It's not either.
Yeah.
So 휴학 is basically taking time off your school years and just not attending school for one semester or one whole year. And
So
I
like
know,
a gap year.
it's like a gap year, but I know in the States, so we're not discussing whether it is good or bad. It's
Right.
just explaining the concept to you guys if you are unfamiliar with it. So a gap year is basically when you don't go to college right away after you graduate high school.
I've heard that it could be that as well as you go for a year and then you kind of take a year off and then you go back and finish your degree.
Yeah, I heard that too, but I also heard from other friends that it is not so easy to do in the States usually.
Right.
But in Korea, at least it's much more common for students to actually take a year off or 2 years off. And many universities, including the university that I attended, allow their students to actually take up to 3 years off.
3 years?
3 years. Without,
At once?
It really depends on the university, but it's up to 3 years, but not all at once.
Oh, okay.
And also it depends on the university whether they ask you to pay the tuition before you take the semester off or after you come back. Because there are pros and cons.
Right.
If you pay first, you are in the university's perspective, you're taking money from a student that is not even attending university, attending your school, using your facilities.
Right.
So you can actually use that money
Yeah.
for business purposes. So yeah, pros and cons, but it really depends on the university. But my school, I think they didn't allow people to just take 3 years all at once, but up to 3 years was fine. So I did that. I attended 1 year and then I attended another year. And then I thought, why don't I just go do my military service first? And then I came back, I did another year, and then I decided to work. So I took 1 year off and then I decided to take another year off. So maybe they did allow me, but I just didn't know. So yeah, I took 2 years in a row off. And the reason that 휴학 is so common is already, even if you didn't want to take a year off as a female student, all of your male friends are going away for at least 2 years
Right. Yeah.
or 3 years
For their military service.
for their military
Right,
service.
military
So
service.
you are already used to not going up, to the next year or grade along with the same students that you actually entered the college with.
Right.
You always already have all these people coming back from their breaks and going, leaving forever. So it's somewhat chaotic in a way.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah. So it's not guaranteed that the close friend that you actually attended school with will be there next semester. Yeah. Introducing some phrases. you say 휴학하다.
휴학하다.
Yeah, 휴학하다. You say 휴학 신청하다.
신청하다.
Yeah, 휴학을 신청하다 or 휴학계를 내다.
휴학계?
Yeah, 휴학계. 휴학계 is
휴학계를
basically the application to take a, you can't just not go.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So you also have to look into whether your school needs you to pay first because they have to be notified. So yeah, 휴학 is very common, and these days a lot of people postpone graduation for fear of not finding a job. So they take up to how many, ever years they're given to take off. And then, even then, they still pay a little bit of money to retain their student status. Because if you apply for a job at a big company, usually they look at your documents and say, oh, so you graduated 2 years ago. What have you been doing?
Yeah.
There's no record of you working. So they would rather be in school for a long time than, graduate really quickly and just not find anything.
Find a job.
Yeah. So 휴학 is really, really common. So you will see a lot of Korean people saying, oh, I was a college student for 10 years, 9 years. I was exceptionally there for a long time.
Yeah.
10 years is too long. But yeah, I was also doing a lot of part-time work.
I do feel like it's a little bit similar in America as well. With the having no work history between your graduation and when you finally go in for an interview.
Yeah.
I feel like I know some people that have continued their education just because they couldn't find a job. So they're like, what else am I doing with my time? Is well go to school.
Yeah, I mean, that's very, I guess, natural if you actually go to school.
Yeah.
But it has been a problem with some universities. Some universities actually, essentially universities are educational institutes, but some schools are more businesses than educational institutes.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. You can't say that, all schools are like that, but they have to worry about making money too, enough money to actually keep the school in business.
Yes.
Because you don't want to go out of business.
Yes.
And a lot of universities have been found to have accepted money like really easily. Hey, okay, fine. You can keep your student status, as long as you pay us.
Yeah.
So that has been pointed out. And I think it is just a sad fact. Again, to sum it up, 휴학, very common. So in 1999, I attended the full year. In 2000, I attended the full year. And I received this letter that said you have to enlist in September of 2001. So September is officially in the second semester in Korea. So from January to August, these months didn't count as my military service 휴학, 군 휴학.
군 휴학.
So I actually had to officially take that semester off
So they don't allow you to take it in the middle of the year. You have to start at the beginning.
You have to take the whole semester.
The whole semester.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, if you don't attend college, we call it 영장, your 군대 입영 영장. You get the letter like really quickly, like when you are 20 years old. But then as long as you are in school, you can postpone the enlistment, I guess, endlessly, and indefinitely. And then as soon as you graduate, you have to go because there's no excuse.
Yeah.
So if you don't go to college, you finish your military service and you're done with it really young. But
so that's what it was. Because I got kind of confused about that. I thought it was you could choose any time in your 20s as long as you didn't pass 30.
No, yeah. So if you graduate high school and you start working, there's no way for you to not go. But as long as you are in college, you can actually say, oh, I'm in college. You don't have to say anything. You are automatically a university student. They automatically know.
Okay.
So I had to take that semester off. And back then, my military service was 2 years and 2 months. So to me, it felt like a huge portion of my life, which it was.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to do everything that I could do before my life as I knew just discontinued.
Right.
Because the only thing that I could actually bring into the military camp that I owned was a wristwatch.
Really?
Yeah, everything.
Nothing else?
Nothing else. Everything else was actually sent back home, including my underwear. Everything
Your
else,
underwear?
yeah, sent back home.
Wow.
So I was like, oh, I have to hang out with friends a lot. I have to do all these things that I, won't be able to do for 2 years and almost and a half. So I took that semester off and I came back. I was motivated to study, but then I realized I was more motivated to make money.
Yeah.
So 2 years of working, and then so I had to be in college for a long time, 10
Long
years.
time.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Korean, I guess, resumes or whenever they ask you what degree do you have, it shows what year you graduated in.
Yeah.
But often people never ask what year you graduated in because people know that everybody takes a few years off.
Right.
So people always ask you 몇 학번?
몇 학번?
몇 학번? 학번 is like school class of so and so.
Uh-huh.
But in the States, when you say class of 2008, it
Yeah.
means you graduated in 2008.
Yeah.
But in Korea, we have 학번. You entered.
Entered.
Yeah, in that year. So I'm 99 학번.
Uh-huh.
So what year did you enter college?
2008.
So you would be 08
08
학번.
학번.
Yeah, and that's also how people know the other person's age.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, people know all these things about university that I thought you might also enjoy knowing.
Very interesting.
Yeah, so if you have any questions about Korean culture or certain aspects of the Korean society, things like that you would like us to discuss, please let us know in the comments. This was a different kind of style, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let us know what you thought of this. Do you like, of course we have many lesson type videos, but would you like more just talking videos like this one? This one will be super easy to edit, just the whole thing. So
Put it up.
Yeah, put it up. But let us know, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.